Hey everybody, how we doing? Welcome to the first episode of the new podcast, The Birdman Show. That's right. I'm your host, Birdman. We have a great show in store for you. I'll be welcoming a very special guest, a good friend of mine. His name's Brian Williams, aka Ace Horror. Man's doing a lot of great things. Brian's about 47 years old, recently recovering from a heart attack, running a successful forum on TikTok that focuses on helping people dealing with depression and anxiety. You can definitely check him out on TikTok at Ace Horror. Okay, so definitely check him out. And without further ado, I'm going to welcome my guest Brian onto the show. Brian, how are we doing?
Doing good, Birdman. How about
Let's see if
yourself?
we can get this thing on there. Man, it's another beautiful day. Another beautiful day in paradise with this lovely weather here in Kansas. Actually, it's not really that bad. So, yeah, I'm enjoying it. So, Brian, I know I
I
gave a
guess
little bit
the
of
sun is
a
out
background
today.
story. Yeah, it is. I gave the people a little bit of a background on you, but it's always best to hear from straight from the horse's mouth. So, why don't you
Right.
tell our viewers about yourself?
Um, like Birdman said, I'm 47. I just recently had a heart attack back in November, and I I'm still in recovery. I haven't gone. It's really something that opens your eyes and makes you think about the future more. And with where I was in my life, my demons were eating me alive. And by me becoming a member of the TikTok community, it has actually helped me by helping others to calm my demons and surrounding myself with positive thinking people and feeding off of them to better myself every day.
And you know what? I find that especially now, and I most people who know me, know my story. For those who don't, I spent 10 years in the military. Served in the United States Army. Um, did a lot of things that I really just never really imagined myself doing. The things that we had to see, the things we had to do, different people we encountered. It was eye opening. I always grew up. Um, you know, I was a very religious family. Um, Grew up, to always value life, and to cherish life. Treat everybody with respect. Because, like it says, Bible, treat others as you have them treat you. And being in the military, especially being infantry, I could see some of the other jobs that you have to do where you may not have those type of encounters, but being basically thrown into the fire, it was an eye opening experience. That definitely would not take anything away from it. I loved it. I loved my the people I served with, the men and women I served with, um, and I would do anything for them, even to this day. But what they don't prepare you for is dealing with the aftermath. They don't prepare you for, the nightmares. They don't prepare you for, the sleepless nights. They don't prepare you for how much your relationships with friends and family changes. Because no matter who they are, no matter them, they will never understand your experience.
Nope,
And the
it won't.
experience, it's different for everybody. It's different for everybody. And one thing I learned, I think what really changed my perspective on this and kind of got me on this road to where I'm at right now is when I went to a specialized PTSD clinic that the military sent me to down in Denton, Texas, and I spent 2 months there, a little months there. And it was crazy because there was Marines, there was Army personnel there was Air Force, Coast Guard, Navy, all branches were there. And it was crazy because I'm like, I'm listening to some of these guys. There was probably about three of the guys, they were Marines that were infantry. So I connected with them instantly. Yeah, I'm Army, but we're infantry. We train. We go through it. We prepare for this stuff. But the rest of the guys were not infantry. They were working in different types of fields. Some fields that they really didn't see combat. So I'm like, I can't really connect to these guys. I'm not even going to talk to these guys. But as I sit there and start listening to their stories were different, but the emotions, the fear, the sleepless nights, the depression, the anxiety, everything was the same. All the feelings were the same. Different experiences, same feelings. And that's when I started thinking. I was like, you know what? Yeah, I may have gone through all this and that, but when it comes to the actual overall mental health, in my case, PTSD, the depression, anxiety, like you talk about as well, experiences are always going to be different. Just like you see a product on TV, watching late night TV, see a product, like, the experiences of this product will vary depending on the same thing. And I started figuring that, realizing that, and man, it's crazy. It's an eye opener. It really is, because, like I said, you and I have experiences, but you and I have had several conversations, and
Right.
a lot of those experiences you had, those feelings that you felt, the things you were going through with that, have been the same. And I
Yep.
find I've connected with more people, keeping that open. So, talk a little bit more about your forum and on TikTok and how you really use that platform.
Um, the easiest way for me to get into that subject is to start off by explaining how I actually came to TikTok. I'm going to throw this out there. I swore I would never. Hello, Cindy. I swore I would never download TikTok ever, because the only thing that I ever seen was I'm Murphy. Hi, little man. Um, I swore that I would never download it, because all I ever seen whenever people was talking about TikTok was people mindlessly scrolling, watching videos and everything. And I'm like, why are you doing that to yourself? You're rotting your
Yeah,
brain.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, hi Cheryl. Cajun's on. But I was actually on. I was using a different app. I was using a meme app, and I was
Mm-hmm.
using that to express myself, finding memes and putting them
Right.
on there. And I would scroll through other people's content and everything, and I seen this one pop up that had a TikTok tag on it, and it was somebody asking men with mental health, why do you never reach out? Why do you never call anybody? And then everything that followed that was these guys just popping in saying, nobody cares. I'm a guy. Who's going to care? And then, like, we actually have somebody that we can call. And me dealing with this shit on a daily basis, seeing something like that, it was a trigger for me, because it pissed me off, because it almost was like they were mocking guys with mental health. So
Yes.
the one thing I swore I would never do, I did. I downloaded TikTok, and I made a video of my own, just unleashing all of my fucking anger and everything towards what I saw. And it maybe got 25 views. And I was like, okay. Well, in the meantime, I'm sitting here. All right, I'm going to do what everybody else does and mindlessly scroll through TikTok. It's almost like it knew I was coming because it tailored the videos to me. Every video that I watched was about people that were struggling with mental health disorders or just demons in general. And to sit there and watch all of these videos, one right after another, I felt like the ass at that point, because here I am bitching everybody out for making these videos when it's actually a video that's helping people. So I ended up going and deleting that video and then just started doing videos of my own, just lip syncing to songs that I could personally connect with. And that's where it all started, was other people could connect with the lyrics of the songs that I was doing. And I did one video that was geared towards women. It was, I mean, the title of it was "Come Sit With Me." And that was at the time my biggest video. And I did that right before Christmas. And when, wait, it wasn't Christmas, it was New Year's. I did that right before New Year's, before I came down for New Year's. Because no, it was Thanksgiving. That's right. It was Thanksgiving. Right before Thanksgiving, I did that. And I blew up. I mean, I went from 200 followers to 1,200 followers in 2 days because of one video. And just seeing the impact that one video had on people was crazy. And I was like, okay, I think I found my calling. I've always been the person that everybody comes to whenever they need advice. I've always been the person that everyone would come to when they needed someone to talk to. And I was like, okay, I've been there. I've done this before. Now let's see if I can make a difference doing it. So I started going live.
Yeah.
My first live, I sat there and mindlessly talked for 2 hours about me. And obviously it had an impact on some people because they kept coming back. I've got people that were in my first live that still follow me and come into my lives today. And that was almost 2 months ago. So, I mean, I've gotten messages. The way our lives go is, I like to call it the shit show, because you never know what's going to happen. And the way our lives go is, I always start off every live giving words of encouragement, prayers, good thoughts, good vibes, whatever it is that you dish out to anybody that needs it or anybody that has contacted me asking for prayers. Once that's all said and done, I will open it up to the family to see if anybody else has anybody that they would like to add to that list. Once we get done with that, then we let the shit show begin. Most of the time, it's just me throwing out some random crap and seeing who feeds off of it and what direction it goes. And it's actually kind of nice, because it brings more people in, because they'll be sitting there flipping through their For You page, and my live will pop up on their For You page, and they'll see people laughing, cutting up, carrying on. They're like, well, this is something you don't see every day. And they click on it and they come in. And when they come in, they get a feel for the way that we go. And that gives them a sense of comfort.
Right.
And they're able to open up and let us know what they're dealing with. And by doing that, it gives us a door to helping them. Just with us being ourselves and not trying to be something more than what we are, just letting them see that we do have big hearts. We do care. And if you have something going on, by all means, reach out to one of us. And you have no idea how many people have actually done that,
Yes.
and how many messages that I've gotten just because of a video that I've done that reached somebody that told me that I saved their life because they were on the verge of pulling the trigger, they were on the verge of taking those pills, or they were on the verge of whatever means that they had come to grips with on ending their life. And one more swipe through TikTok was all it took.
Yeah. Now
Yes,
I'm
yes,
reading
we
some of these
have.
comments that people are sending. You know what I'm saying? And this one that is on the screen now it's a big one. You got Cheryl that also said thank you for helping her. Um, I, the thing, and the thing I want to hit on is something you said early on, and it's something I dealt with big time myself. Now for my family, especially my friends that know me, I am not the type that I really talk. I talk a lot. I can talk a lot. I will talk a lot. But I'm not the type of person that
You've
talks
always
about my
got something to
feelings
say.
a lot.
You're just not the type to reach
Oh,
out.
I've always got something to say. Right. And that's a lot of it's kind of it was how I was kind of raised. And I love my parents to death. And I never take away anything they've ever done. You know what I'm saying? I can sit there as a child and say, "Oh, my father was so hard on me," and this and that. It was his job. You know what I'm saying? His job because he's raising my brother and I. He's raising two boys that are going to become men that are going to be out in this society. You have to have a certain level of hey, don't try me, I will knock you out. You got to have
Right.
that. At some it has to be. It to me. I've got an 18-year-old daughter. I've got a 9-year-old son who will be 10 in May, and I have a 8-year-old daughter. To me, I worry more about my daughters than I do my son. My son is much every bit a spinning mirror of me. He's my little mini me, and so in a sense, and I have to be careful about that because I don't want to give myself a false sense of security. When it comes to him, you still got to make sure that I'm trying to teach him the right way. Hey, look, this, if you say you're gonna do something, you need to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because you're a man, you need word bond. And if people can't trust your word, they can't trust you. I got to make sure that that's true. But I got to do the same thing for my daughters. And I'm realizing that it's this world is I don't know. I try not to get into the coaching part because doesn't know I also do a podcast. It's called Head Coach, and I do a lot of coaching stuff. But I'm realizing that when it comes to my mental health, when it comes to the stuff that we're talking about here, when it comes to coaching, it all runs together. Everything's so. I am. My mind is so blown. Has been so blown over these last few years that how much everything is so connected. No matter what you do, every aspect of your life trying to do, especially if you're trying to change things, is all. And when it comes to my kids, because people worry about, oh, I need to be included in this, and we got to do this, we got to do that. Trust me, the world doesn't work that way. The world does not work that way. You're not going to always get what you want, but if you work hard for it, you can get there. But what you said earlier was the main problem with when it comes to men in this issue. We're always told, hey, you're a man. You got to suck it up. You got to move on, drive on. You know what I'm saying? You can't let nobody, you can't let anybody know that, you're having issues. When it comes to relationships,
You
if
can't show
if she's
weakness.
having a problem, yeah, if she's having a problem, then you're having a problem. If you're having a problem, then you just got to figure out how to work through it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? If you do express that you have an issue, then it's like you're weak. So you're weak. You're not a man. You can't handle your own stuff. You can't get through your own problems. It's such a double standard when it comes to stuff like that. Then you get these women, the women. I'm not bashing nobody, but if this does fit you, please fix it. Okay, I'm just gonna tell you right now. If you got a man, and happens to be an issue, please fix this issue. Then you got these women that say that they want a man who's sensitive. They want a man who's connected with himself. But then if he tries to do it, oh, you're a punk. You're not a man. You're not. I can't be with somebody like that. How do I know you protect me? Me getting in touch with my feelings has nothing to do with the fact that I can protect you. Trust and believe. If we just talk about me, myself, and I, there's no problems whatsoever. I have no problem. No problem whatsoever. Telling me some very good tricks. So I have no problems whatsoever. But it's the mentality of trying to get over what you've been taught in society and even within your family all this time. And you know what? If I'm really having an issue, I got to be able to reach out to somebody, because the only other way we were able to reach out was picking up a bottle, picking up some type of drug, going out and doing something real stupid. You know what I'm saying? That was the only way we could, express it. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, why didn't you talk to somebody? I did try to talk to somebody, but you told me to suck
Nobody
it up.
wanted to listen.
You told me, hey, be a man. Nobody wanted to listen. Why? Because you're a man. Because you're supposed to be able to deal with all that stuff. They'll say, well, you're not big enough to handle all that weight. Why do I have to handle all the weight? That's all I'm saying. Why would, as a man, why would I have, especially if you're talking being in a relationship, why should I have to hold all the weight? It's funny, some relationships, the men or the women, especially, when it comes to like the women talk about, well, I want to be equal, I want us to share all this stuff. But then when it comes to the real heavy stuff, it's always put on your shoulders. It's always put on your back. And there's never a chance for, and like I said, I'm just talking about this in this instance, I'm just talking about men. There's no, in cases, now I'm not saying that there's women out there that do a very freaking outing job of supporting their man and doing all the and making sure that they have an outlet to be able to express themselves. I applaud you, women. Keep doing what you're doing. I salute. You're outstanding. But it's not a whole. It's not a whole. But on the flip side, men, hear me out. Stop acting like you're super. My favorite, as you know. I got my Superman cup right here. Superman is my favorite. Stop acting like you're Superman. Even though I got the green screen behind me that's not working right now. Stop like you the Incredible Hulk. Got a Superman tattoo. Yes, sir. Stop acting like you're so indestructible, because we're not. In most cases, this is the reason why men have a shorter lifespan than women. See, we gotta take a note, guys. They have no problems unleashing every single feeling they got at any freaking moment. You could be driving down the road, mind your own business, doing 85 down the freeway. She goes about something and she's grabbing the wheel, this and that. She's trying to kill everybody in the car. I'm like, hey, wait a minute. I got stuff to do on Monday, okay? I ain't even try to die on the freeway with you grabbing the wheel. All right? Knock it off. Now, if you got something to talk about, talk to me. Or text it to me or something. But what I'm saying is, they have no problem expressing themselves. They have zero problems. Okay? We've got to get to the point where it's not such a, so I look weak just because I'm expressing how I feel. No, you're not weak. I'm gonna tell you what makes you weak. Thinking that you're weak, trying to express yourself when you actually really need help. I was weak. When I got out of the military, stationed up in Fort Drum, New York, I only came back to see my family, see my parents, because I only came back to say goodbye. I didn't tell them this. I only came back to say goodbye because I planned on killing myself. I had planned on killing myself. I was done with it. I thought my children would be better off in this world without me because I just thought I was that much of a burden. I didn't I didn't I didn't see a reason to live because when I did try to express my did talk to somebody about it, and it was the actually I did that a few years before I met my son's mom. And it was like, well, you're in the military, you're infantry. You know what I'm saying? You know, aren't you like, aren't you sniper trained? Aren't you this and that? You should be able to deal with all this stuff. So why are you acting like you can't deal with it? I'm like, you know what? What's the point of me even talking about it? What's the point? So I shut myself off. And it ate away at me so much. I was like, you know what? Why am I even here? What's the point? Well, I mean, what am I really doing? I mean, who am I benefiting? You know, I came home, like I said, I came home and I was just like, you know what? So I'm gonna come home, spend a couple weeks with my family. You know what I'm saying? If I'm able to go see my oldest daughter, I want to be able to go see her. You know, then I was gonna go back to New York, spend some time with my son, and then go back to my place, and I was gonna kill myself. And I already had it all planned out. You know what I'm saying? I already had everything all ready to go. But that's what I was gonna do. But God had other plans. You know what I'm saying? I met an extraordinary man in Coach Bill Hansen who really changed my life. Because even though I was here and I was, you know, going to church with my parents, and the thought had never left my mind. But when I met Coach Hansen and he gave me an opportunity to coach basketball with him at the middle school, my whole world started to change. You know, and I started to find some purpose. And because of that, man, even though he passed away about after that, and it hit me hard, but because he changed my life in such a way, my mentality and my thought process changed. Well, that's what I'm seeing, you know, with you, with you know, with what you're doing. You know, I'm seeing these comments, man. You know, it's dude, I'm telling you, this stuff is like, I mean, if you read this comment here, you know what I'm saying? It needs to change. Yeah. Our culture does need to change. 100%. You know what I'm saying? This one here, same person, Cindy. You know what I'm saying? Boy, that crying is okay. It takes courage to show your emotions. 100% right. That is 100 right. I think that was my biggest issue. I never thought that, you know, and even now, and I think I've gotten to the point now, I don't really cry. You know, it's not because I'm not sad or anything like that. It's just I've gotten to the point where I don't know. I'm not cold hearted, even though most people think I am. I'm not cold. I've learned how to take those emotions and redirect them. Because if you realize, okay, you situation, Brian, someone dies. Okay, everybody's emotional. Everybody's emotional. I'm saying, go to a funeral. Everybody's freaking crying. This and that. But there's one that's not, because they don't normally cry in front of everybody. They wait until they're usually by themselves because they know I got to help these people get this moment.
Yep.
I've got to help them get through this moment. I'll be okay. You know what I'm saying? Until I can get everybody else through this. Once I can release this, and I've been like that. I've been like that. I've done that. You know what I'm saying? The last time, other than being at my coach's funeral, last time I cried at anything was at my grandmother's funeral. That was 2004. 2004, 12th. 2004 was when actually she passed away on Valentine's Day. April 12th or February 12th was my daughter's birthday. Um, and her grandmother and them came down 2 days later to celebrate the birthday, and my grandma passed away on Valentine's Day. Cried a little bit when she passed, but it really hit me at her funeral. And after that, I went home and I was like, I'm done. I was like, I'm done. My grandma was my best friend. She was my world. She was the only person I really could talk to. She's the only one that see me actually truly cry over anything. And when she was gone, I felt like I had nobody else. You know, so it started a downward spiral of things, and then I found my purpose when I joined the military. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like I was getting better, but then, like I said, having 4 deployments, man, and going through all that stuff, woo, yeah, it's taxing on you. So, Brian, what do you think? What do you think is the biggest takeaway for you doing what you do on your forum and in your platform?
The biggest takeaway for me would be the outpouring of support that I get from everybody else around me. Knowing that just by offering somebody an ear to get off of their chest what they're going through, really that's what most of them want, is just to be heard. And like you said, all through your life you've been told, suck it up, you're a man, let it go, don't show emotion. And with most of the people that come to my lives, they don't have anybody that is willing to listen to them. And by me giving them that outlet, whether it be me, whether it be Brittany, whether it be Cindy, whether it be Cheryl, whether it be Carrie, I mean, it doesn't matter who they reach out to. Reach out to somebody and they will listen to you. They will comment back. It's not like we're throwing it out there saying reach out, and then it just sits in our inbox and we never respond to it. I don't give a shit how big I get on
Right.
TikTok. If you message me and tell me that you're having problems and you need somebody to talk to, if there's a possibility that I can save somebody's life, I'm going to respond to that message. I mean, I had a lady message me
Yes.
yesterday, tell me that she does not feel where she belongs. I invited her to come to my live, that we will welcome her in. And she's like, but I don't have the followers to do anything. I
Mm-hmm.
said, it doesn't matter how many people you have following you. I said, it matters
Oh,
who is there for you. I've got
yes.
6,000 followers. How many of those followers can I honestly say would be there for me if I needed them? But on the flip side of that, how many of those followers have I been there for when they needed me? I mean, it's not a matter with me. The way I look at it is, it's not a matter of how many will be there for me. I just, knowing that I've been there for them in their time of need
Mm-hmm.
is what makes what I'm
Yes.
doing that much better.
Yeah.
And without my supporting cast, I deal with demons. I
Hmm.
God, I don't want to go through this, Tim. I really don't. You motherfucker, you got me on here
No.
and talking about my
No.
shit, you son of a bitch. Um,
I know. I'm sorry, but that's what
okay,
we do, baby.
I
That's what we
will
do.
not go all the way back because that one's the one that gets me the most. Um,
Mm.
I I've been messed up in the head for a long time. Adoncia, sorry, Adoncia, or cold, whichever way you want to go. Um, I all through middle school, grade school, high school, I was kind of a loner. I was the one
Mm.
that was friends with the popular. I was friends with stoners. I was friends with the geeks. I really
Yeah.
did not have a crowd that I fit into. Thank you, darling. I appreciate that, Marie. But with me being that way growing up, I got picked on. I mean, I know that my mom did the best she could raising my brother and I, and then later on when my sister came along, she did the best she could. But there was times where
Hell, your mom probably
being
picked on both of y'all anyways herself.
well, I know you would have, but
I not me. I'm
there's
saying your mom
times where
probably picked on you.
oh yeah, right. One of the times that I regret, I mean, I this still eats me up to this day. One of the times that I regret about my childhood was when I was playing football. And I really hope that my mom is not watching this right now because I'm probably going
She
to get in
is.
my feels. And if she's watching it, she's going to get in her feels too. Mom, if you're watching this, I love you. And I'm so sorry for this. Um, I was playing football in eighth grade and we had a father son football dinner. Of course, my father passed away whenever I was 4 months old. And the only other person that I could have thought that I would want to take would have been my uncle, and he had something else going on. So I brought my mom. I was the only kid there that brought their mom. And instead of being there for my mom, with her playing the role of mom and dad, I neglected her and she sat by herself through the entire dinner. I went over and sat with a friend and I totally turned my back on my mom when she was there for me. So, mom, if you are watching this, I love you, and I am so sorry for that. Um, that's one of the things that has haunted me my entire life, and I don't think that I've ever told her, and I am sorry. Um, when I got into high school, the I got picked on even worse because I didn't fit into a group, and I took everything that was dished out to me. I'm sorry, sister. Um, I did not want to pick a specific clique to fit into because I did not feel like there was a specific clique that I fit into. I was in chess club. Yes, I'm a biker. I'm a geek, and I was in chess club.
Love chess.
Um,
I love chess.
I played football. I I was a stoner. I mean, there was not a specific clique that I fit into, but I had friends
Right.
in each clique. And it wasn't so much
Mm-hmm.
the friends that I had in each clique, it was the upperclassmen in those cliques that I was getting picked on by because they did not feel like I deserved to be there. And I took it because that's who I was. That's how I was made. I did not show my emotions. I bottled everything up until I would explode. Shit, I was, mom had to take me to the hospital once because I blew up. And instead of getting into a fight with a friend, I walked in the house and I punched the wall. Little did I know that where I punched the wall at, there was a stud behind it. So I fractured my finger. Mom had to take me to the hospital to get my finger reset. Um, Becoming an adult, I've been I've been shit on relationship after relationship as an adult. Um, One thing that most people don't know about me is I am a hopeless romantic. I believe in happily ever after. I believe in finding that one person and just spending the rest of your fucking life with them. And that's the way that I approach that's the way that I approach relationships. And when you go into a relationship with that mentality, knowing that the person you are in that relationship with does not look at it the same way, it doesn't change the way that you view the relationship. And when the relationship ends because you couldn't completely satisfy that person's wants or needs, then that takes a toll on you. And every time you do it, that's that much more that's being piled on you over and over and over again, until the day comes where you do find the one. And that one, the way you know that that one is the one, Glenna,
That
I
that
love you,
last
girl.
I don't mean to cut you off, man. I don't mean to cut you off, man. But that last comment with Glenn, that's I'm telling you, man. That's a tough one because as a parent, and I know I'm not gonna look. My son and I told you my son's 9 years old. We had a conversation. And I told him, I was like, look, I'm not always gonna be maybe viewed as the best parent. I said, but I am gonna do it, and what I will promise you from here on out, I'll always be there for you, no matter what. But more importantly, I'm not trying to be your friend. If you're wrong, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? If you're right, I'm gonna back you. Even if you're wrong, I got your back. But then you and I are gonna have a nice little private conversation that you're probably not gonna like. You know what I'm saying? But to sit there and say that I may need to I need to step back and reevaluate my son. I'm telling you, sometimes we got to step back. You know what I'm saying? In her case, it's her son. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, in some cases, it may be a significant other. And I've had to do that. I've had to do that several times over the years. And it freaking sucks. Because, like you, most people won't agree with this, what I'm about to say. I am too like that when it comes to relationships. But being scarred for so long, so many times, trying to peel those layers back is the hardest thing in the world. When you've given your all to somebody and then they wreck your heart, and then you find a way to do the exact same thing with somebody else and then they wreck your heart, and you find a way to do that with somebody else and they wreck your heart, it is the hardest thing to try to recover. And once again, this goes back to men. It is so hard to recover from that. Why? Because we're not taught to really truly be emotional. We're not taught to really express our emotions. We're taught to manage. That's what we're taught to do. We're taught to manage our emotions. We're taught to, honestly, we're taught to manage relationships. Because in most cases, if you hear something, I'll say my culture, from a lot of older black men, they talk about, hey man, all you gotta do is you gotta do a few things, little young blood, you know what I'm saying? Make sure the wifey, you know what I'm saying, is good from this on this front, this and that, you know what I'm saying? And everything in your life's gonna be good, baby. But you know what? That's not how it should be. It should be, okay, you know what, babe, I'm having a problem. I need somebody to talk to. You know what? I don't even need to talk to you. I just lay my head on your lap.
Listen.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Just let me lay my head on your lap. Just if I do need to talk to somebody, just listen. Don't give me no advice. Don't give me no comments. Don't do nothing. Just listen to me. Because what happens with men, and I've I hope I do this a lot. I'll talk to myself. And a lot of it's not because I don't feel like I can talk to somebody else. It's just that I talk to myself because as long as I'm talking out loud and I can hear myself talk, I work through whatever the issue is.
Right.
I don't. Most people know me. I don't panic when it comes to finances. When it comes to other things, when I know, even though I know I'm struggling, I don't panic. I talk it out. Once I've talked it out, I'm like, you know what? If I do this, bam, 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 everything's gonna be fine. I just gotta make it to this point right here. I'm gonna be good because I talked it out. But sometimes what happens is you get women that, you know what I'm saying, and I'm not saying women, but you know, it's kind of like the relationship type of thing. But this also applies to family. You know what I'm saying? Even some friends. Sometimes you tell them you're having a problem, they're trying to fix your problem. I don't need you to fix my problem. Why? Because sometimes when you trying to fix my problem, you're trying to fix me. Now, if I can't fix me or figure out how to fix me, that doesn't mean it, what you're trying to do doesn't mean anything to me. Because if I can't do it, that means I'm dependent on something or someone else. And that's just, for me, not how I'm built. For me, that's not how I'm trying to teach my children. Do not become dependent on someone else. You better learn how to fix things and figure it out on your own. Because what happens when that person is no longer in your life? How many people I know that have been in marriages where either the husband or the wife have taken care of everything, and then now that husband or wife either passes away or they say, you know what, I don't want to be in this relationship anymore, and they leave. Now you have no idea what to do with yourself. You have no idea how to take care of yourself. You have no idea how to truly be a person because this other person has done everything for you. And that's when depression sets in, anxiety sets in because they have to deal with, can't even do the basic things. I've seen people can't even balance a checkbook. Don't even know how to don't even know how to go to a bank, get a debit card for their account so they can pay for stuff. They've got to go to somebody else, give them the money because they have a debit card or a credit card, give them the money so that they can pay for something online. Come on now. If you can't, at some point, I mean, and this is where lines get blurred. Because as we're talking, like we said, they talk about men. Hey, you got to be able to soldier up, man up, take care of your stuff. That's where the line gets blurred because then we start getting that confused with, okay, I'm having a mental issue. I'm having an emotional issue. Okay. Oh, maybe they're right. Maybe I need to man up. Maybe I need to soldier up. Salute. Get out there and march the trails. No, it's not the same thing. I'm a firm believer. Take care of what you can take care of. Do not overstep your bound. If you know you can't take care of something, you know this issue is bigger than me, I can't do it on my own. If I can't figure it out, I need to talk to somebody. Right. At some point in time, you got to pull back. You got to pull back. Like that comment said, I feel like I need to step back and reevaluate my relationship with my son. Sometimes we need to step back and reevaluate our relationships or just our thinking in general. That's, to me, that's the biggest thing is that I'm finding that out. And I know, I've always known this. I'm not always right. I'm not always right. Now, one thing I do is I try to read people. I try to read the situations. Now, I say I know I'm not always right. Yeah, I know, but I don't want to be like one of my uncles that says, he said, you know, I realized one day I'm not always right. He said, but then I went back and I thought about it. I realized I was right and I was wrong when I said I'm not always right.
Nice. Right, at least he admitted his fault. He knew where his fault was and he knew where it came from.
Yeah, I love that man to death, man. But yeah, but no, I mean that's like I said, to me, it's tough, man. You know, and I deal with this on a regular, man. I do this on a daily basis. You know, I wake up and I'll go in and I'm standing in the mirror and, man, yo, hey dog, how we gonna make it through the day? You know, what do we need to do? I'm saying, do we need to talk to somebody? You know what I'm saying? Do we need to, just listen to some music? Do we need help? Do we need to hop on the Xbox? You know what I'm saying? A lot of times that's what I do. If I'm really going through something, I'll play that Xbox. It's almost dead. You know what I'm saying? And it's cool because my son's on there. He'll hit me up. Hey, Dad, I'm about to get on live. All right, cool, man. And then we'll get on there. We talking on our headsets. We joking, we laughing, this is that. Most of the time, I'm just listening to him. Listening to him talk to his sister and his cousin that be over there. They be going at it half the time. I was over there laughing. They ain't even talking to me. I'm just on there. But sometimes that's what I do. It's like, what is it going to look like for me to get through this day? Is it going to be that day where, hey, pick up the phone. Hey, man, what you doing? I need to talk to somebody. Is it going to be one of them days? I don't know. Each day is different. And that's what I'm starting to realize more. Each day is different. What worked yesterday may not work today. What works today may not work tomorrow.
Right.
You got it out as you go. You know what I'm saying? And as long as we keep that in mind, revolving door is what I look at it as. Revolving door.
Exactly.
Because you can go through a revolving door. You go through a revolving door, right? You can keep going through it and exit out, enter, exit out, enter. You never step in the same place twice.
No.
It's like a river.
And the thing of it is depending on how many demons you're struggling with, depending on how much you've suppressed in your life, it might not be the same thing every day that triggers you. So by sitting there saying, okay, this is what I did yesterday, let's try and see if I can use that again today to see if it'll help me get through it. If your demon is completely different from day to day, then what you're using is not going to work. Exactly, Cindy. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
100%.
Something that my girlfriend and I completely agree on is there is no problem too hard that you can't work through it before you go to bed. And before you go to bed, you always say, I love you. Never leave I love you left unsaid. Because you never know what that night is going to bring. If you go to bed in anger and something happens to you in the middle of the night, or something happens to them in the middle of the night, that's something that you're going to have to deal with the rest of your life. Is you went to bed angry at the person that you are in love with, and you cannot apologize to them.
Yes. 110,000%. And I don't know how many times I've been in that situation over the years. In some cases, I'm like, shit, man, something happens to you, it's up to you, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, it's just some relationships is just like, fuck, I don't care, whatever, get you. Anyway, but you know what? This is one of those things, and and I can sit there and say, oh yeah, I've learned this, and I have a lot, but I think I don't know, man. It's so tough because, like you said, it's different day to day. There's some days that not much of anything bothers me or gets to me. It's just like, okay, I mean, all right. Somebody says something to me, okay, whatever. All right, it's cool. We'll just do this or we'll do that. Okay, cool. And then some days, if someone sneezes and I think a bit of drop of their sneeze gets on my shoes, I'm ready to fight the entire nation. It's just like,
I know
I'm
how
ready
you
to
are with your shoes.
go to war. Well, okay, because shoes probably might not have been the best analogy.
Yeah, I mean, you're anal about your shoes anyway. You wear them once, you take them off, you're polishing them some bitches before you put it back in the closet.
Okay, all right. So shoes might not have been the best analogy.
I mean, you
We'll
have
move on. We'll
shoes
move
from
on. But you get what I'm saying.
1974, or I'm sorry, 1984 that are still white.
Hey man, I got them exclusive Air Jesuses, the sandals that Jesus wore. I got them in a in a in a box over there. But now yeah, I'm very protective of my shoes.
Okay,
And
so
most of the time, yeah,
let's say if
yeah.
somebody
Anyway,
sneezes
okay, that's it.
and
That's
it gets
neither
on
here or
your
there.
sleeve.
Okay, that works better. Okay, that works better. That
Okay,
works
all
better.
right.
Okay, yeah, there you go. Yeah, forget the shoes. Forget the shoes. Everybody just strike that from your memory. And don't go back to watch this. Anyways, so somebody like if someone sneezes, just sneezes crazy on me, you know what I'm saying? Or just like if like okay, now this happened. This actually happened to me when I was at work. I don't know what it was. I wasn't like anything or whatever. It's just I don't know. I was just in a weird mood. And I had said something to one of my coworkers, and they kind of sighed, like, and I was like, and it wasn't anything major. I said something, and when they sighed and we did it, I was like, who you signing at? You know, I'm actually ready to do something. I'm like, whoa, bro, what are you doing? Take a step back, relax. Woosah. Come on, relax, bro. I mean, I literally was ready to fight somebody because they sighed, and they weren't even signing at me. They were doing something else, and they were trying to figure something out, and it was frustrating them. They were signing at that, and I just happened to say something at that time, and I'm like, hold up now. Hold, don't make me roll these sleeves up. Hold up, partner. Let me roll these sleeves up real quick. Hold up. Yeah. So I don't know. It's just one of those things. Like, and I think that's the biggest thing I can say for myself. I'm not talking for anybody. I try to be mindful of. I know how mentally, I know how I can react to some things. Most cases I react. I have a delayed reaction in most cases. Like I'll hear somebody say something, saying I feel it like, Elray, you really about to get on my nerves in about 5.2 seconds. But it become a delayed reaction. Normally by that, they've left the room, they've left the situation. I'm there by myself, and I can kind of talk to myself and get myself back into it. Because if not, I'm telling you, man, I don't know, they might have to come get me. You know what I'm saying? And put me in a padded room somewhere because they'll be like, yeah, we cannot let this dude out in public because he will fall around and snap on everybody. And I try not to be like that, but it is what it is. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, that's actually how I used to be. Just the opposite. When somebody would say something or there's a situation, if I was to the point where I was irritated, aggravated, frustrated at anything, if somebody said something, I was straight popping off on them. I did not have a filter. I let them know what was going on, and I was like, "What the fuck? Really?
Right.
This towards really?
Yeah.
Like now, I have to, like you said, channel that and take
Yeah.
a second to have that delayed reaction. Prime example, yesterday, I was at work and I get to a customer and they had just opened. Well, they had just arrived, but they hadn't unlocked the back door yet. So I knock on the back door. Somebody comes over. I'm not ready for it because usually they open it up so that I can get in and then I fix it from there. The guy comes over and just
Right.
pushes it, and I'm not ready for it to be open. And I went to grab it and I wasn't quick enough. So I knock again on the backside of it here, motherfucker. Really? So I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, how am I going to handle this? He pops the door open again, and I grab it, and I walk in, and I look at him. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, motherfucker, really? Did you seriously just motherfucker me? And then I had to stop and think. It's like, hey, you're on the clock working this is probably not the best time to handle this situation. So I'm going to let this one slide. You got to pass, motherfucker. but yeah, seriously. I mean, there was a time where I did not care. My heart has always been right here. I mean, you could see my heart anytime you look at me. I've always had a heart of gold, as everybody says, and it's always been on my sleeve.
Yeah.
The thing of it is my perception of everything has changed over the years. Yes, I care about everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I care deeply. As my sister says, I love deeply, and I fall fast. That curse, blessing, depends on how you look at it. With the way that I used to be, I didn't have facts. Yes, very true, Tim. Very true. With the way that I used to be, I didn't care. I mean, I still cared about everybody, but I didn't care what I said, and that kept everybody at a distance from me. Was that?
I'm with you. I'm just like that. Exact same way.
Right. And that kept everybody at a distance from me. And that at that point in my life, that's how I liked it, because I didn't want anybody to get close to me, because if they got close to me, then they might actually see what I'm dealing with, if they cared enough to actually stick around. And there's don't give me that look. I know you care. Damn it, woman. Oh, just in case, this is who I'm talking to. Yes, yeah, I know she doesn't want to be seen, but had to. There's those walls that you put up. You put those walls up for a reason. Anytime you've been hurt, you put a wall up. That way you don't get hurt like that again. And then something else happens in your life, and you put another wall up, and then another wall, and until you are in a barrier that is this big. That's all the room you have.
Yes.
Is that big, and you have to try and maneuver your way around there to get through life. Now, the thing about you being in a secluded space. Yes, we do, Cindy. I could not agree more.
You're right.
When you're in that secluded space, who do you have but yourself? It takes somebody on the outside to come into your life to show you, not tell you, to show you that they are going to be there for you, that their actions are exactly.
I'm telling you.
But their actions,
they only on the comments now,
right? Their actions show you that they care about you, that they're going to be there for you, that they actually care about what you're going through. And by them showing you all of this, it's what you need to start letting those walls down. You don't let them down for everyone. You let them down for the ones that you know are going to be there for you. And by you doing that, that lets them in and gives you the opportunity to actually be able to show who you honestly are. Instead of putting your mask on.
Let me jump. Man, you gonna let me jump in on. Let me jump in, bro. Hold on.
Floor is yours.
Okay, for all the women that are watching this, I need you to listen to one thing. Okay, please let me understand something. A man will change for a woman. He really will. But he's only going to change for the right one. Because the thing is, you got to remember, just like you, we've been in multiple relationships. Guess what happens? Those females want us to change. But it's something inside of us says, maybe this is not the right one. because we're looking at the signs. Because men are rational thinkers, women are emotional thinkers. Okay? We'll think things out, rationalize things. Women will be emotional when it comes to some of this stuff. Now, I'm not saying all women are like that. I've met several women that I would consider more rational thinkers than emotional. So I'm not saying this. I'm not saying it's like that for everyone, but on a whole scale, men are usually more rational thinkers. We don't let our emotions get involved. Now that comes back to what we've already said. That's what we've been taught. Women have been taught to be emotional. Men have been taught to be rational. We've been taught, no, you don't let your emotions rule your thinking. Okay, think with this. All right, you need to think with this. All right, some happened to Brian. Brian dropped out. I think he's having some problems with connection, so he'll go back in. But we've been taught to be rational. Okay, a man will change. A man will definitely change for a woman.
That's what you
Okay,
get for playing
all right,
around
he's
with
back.
buttons.
All right, Ace is back. A man will definitely change for a woman, but don't think that's not going to come without him thinking about, look, I went through the same thing with somebody else. I've been giving my heart to somebody else. They asked me to change this about myself, but then they never changed. And then I ended up being back at square one. Okay. A man will definitely change for you if you're the one. And you'll know you're the one because because he'll start doing things that he's never done with another person. You know what I'm saying? You'll know 100%. So for all the women that are watching this, a man's gonna change for one woman only. I think Ace is having some problem with his audio, probably, maybe. Yeah, I think he's having some problem with his audio. So we'll keep rolling with it. Get him back on. Red. Hold on. I think he's back.
I'm not touching
Take personal
anything else.
actions to ruin it for
real,
others.
not touching
I
anything.
want to show. Yes, 100%. It could take one. You having problems with the audio?
Yeah, it for whatever reason it dropped down on me, so I went in and tried to adjust my settings. And whenever I jumped out this last time, now the volume's back. So
Okay,
we're good now.
Okay, good. All right. So that's what we were saying. So that way you can read the comment there. And then Timothy. That's
very true, Murray.
On.
Very true.
And then Timothy had this comment, and we'll look at that one real quick.
It's always hard to let your guard down when all you know is hurt and being let down. Exactly, yes. Timothy. And that's one of the things that everyone, I'm not just going to say men, but everyone carries with them when they sit there and they open themselves up 100% to somebody. And that person they opened themselves up to, that said that they was going to be there, they was going to love them, they was going to take care of them, they was going to work hand in hand and support them, does the exact opposite of what they said they were going to do. That's another scar that gets put on your heart. That's another scar,
yes,
that you have to deal with before you can actually trust opening yourself up to somebody else and hoping that they're not going to do the same thing. It's a cycle. We've all been through it. I've been married and divorced 4 times. Well, married 4 times, divorced 3 times. This next week will be my 4th time being divorced. And trust me, every single one of them, except for the first one, that was kind of you kind of have to, you have a baby on the way. But anyway, that's what you do whenever you get married is you're welcome. You're welcome, Cajun. By all means, you are welcome. And I'm glad that we could be there for you to do that. But that cycle is going to continue because you're going to eventually trust in loving somebody again. And eventually, hopefully, you will find that one person that is going to stand by you, that is going to work hand in hand, that is going to share the load and not make you carry it all. And when you find them,
Right.
you won't have to worry about building those walls up again. You won't have to worry about what you're going to do when this relationship fails.
Mm-hmm.
Open my private chat. I can't read my private chat. I can't read it. It's not working. Tell me to open something I can't read. Ugh. Anyway,
I
but
just see you said. I just see you said no.
yeah, and then I hit the back button to go back, and it kicked me out. That's why I said I'm not touching anything else. If something else comes up, y'all are on your own because I'm not touching anything else. It's kicked me out twice already. I'm done.
Oh, baby Jesus. Oh,
But
baby
but
Jesus.
seriously,
Continue. Go ahead.
um, the reason why I'm not saying just men is because women go through this as well. Women probably take it harder than what
Yes,
men do
100%.
because they they are a lot more emotional than what men are because they have been programmed from birth to be caring, loving, there for their man, and they take on a lot more. Childbirth, raising kids, I mean, everything is put on a woman.
Yes,
And then
100%.
a man takes on the emotional stress, the physical
Mm-hmm.
stress of going to work, the mental stress of listening to what is going on around them and doing what they can to pacify the situation so it doesn't become something more than what it is. And
Mm-hmm.
it's honestly a battle between man and woman every day on who is
Yes.
getting the shit end of the deal because they're both getting hit with emotional, physical, mental stress every day. And
Mm-hmm.
to sit there and say that one's getting it worse than the other, it's all in the eye of the beholder. You don't know what I'm going
Yeah.
through, just like I don't know what you're going through. And the only way that bridge is going to be built is by trust. If you trust me to protect your secrets, then I will trust you to protect mine. And vice versa. I mean, it's got to be a give and take in any relationship, whether it's a romantic relationship or just a platonic relationship. It has to be a give and take.
Yes.
You can't expect for one to give and then you not reciprocate. If you're going to sit there and
Mm-hmm.
listen to everything they've got going on, how does that make you a bigger person, knowing that you're dealing with everything that you're dealing with and not getting the help that you need to help them?
Yes. Now, I want to take a quick time out. I want to give a cut out number one. To let everybody know that the podcast is being powered by StreamYard. StreamYard is a very cool and easy way to do a live stream podcast or live stream anything that you're doing. Just go on StreamYard.com, sign up, find out which plan works for you. You can do a free plan, you pay for a plan. Whichever plan works for you, check out StreamYard, okay? Because that's what we're using right now. It's pretty cool. Now, I would also say, like I said, to Brian, everybody down at the bottom, you can definitely follow Brian, aka Ace Horror, on TikTok at Ace Horror. Okay. For any of the live stream platforms that we're using, that I'm on, as you see at the bottom, you can go check us out on YouTube page at the Birdman Podcast. or Birdman Show podcast, excuse me. Also on Twitter at Birdman Podcast and on Facebook at Tim Birdman Simpson. Okay. So that being said, got all that out of the way. Brian, continue.
Um,
Yeah. Oh, you having a conversation there?
yeah, sign language that I don't understand.
Yeah, no, I understand. I probably should learn how to do that.
But to continue, it's got to be a give and take in a relationship. You can't sit there and go into a relationship, especially a romantic relationship, and think that you're going into a relationship as a 50-50 partnership. When you're in a romantic relationship, it's never 50-50. You have to give 100%. Both of you have to give 100% in order for that relationship to work. And if you're not giving 100%, then you're not pulling your weight. I understand that things happen in a relationship that drop your give down and drop your trust down. But with that being said, that's where you have to take a look inside yourself and ask yourself, if you're not giving 100%, are you willing to accept what has happened to drop that give down to get you back to that 100%? Because if you're not willing to accept it,
now I'm not,
then it's always going to be there. Wait, I don't know which way to point because I know you're over on one side or the other. If you're not willing to give that 100%, then it's always going to be there. It's always going to keep festering, and it's always going to keep you from being completely happy in your relationship. Why are you poking? Oh shit! I went towards you.
You get right towards the finger. But no, you're 100% right, man. And that's the thing is, and I've always said this. There's ups and downs in every relationship. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it is. You know, and you know, no matter what the situation is, but I've always said it's always a choice. You know,
right?
You as a person, if you're the one that's been hurt, choice. Do I want to stay here? Do I want to accept the fact that I've been hurt and the fact that, you know, we're gonna have to work through this, you know, and to move forward? You as a person that's hurt, person that's been hurt, you got to say, you know, am I willing to accept the fact that I just hurt this person, and how am I gonna move forward with that? And there has to be a choice of saying, okay, do I want to stay and deal with it, or do I want to just say, you know what, this is enough, let's move on. Now, in both those choices, there's something that has to happen. If you choose to stay, you've got to work through it on your own. Your own. If you're the person that was hurt, you have got some work to do for yourself. You've got some serious work to do for yourself. Because the thing is, if you're going to stay in that relationship, but every single time something comes up, you bring up what happened in the past, that relationship is never grow. It's never going to grow.
And I'm going to cut you
the
off
other person, even though they go ahead.
One of my big sayings that I stand by is, number one, when you get into a relationship, everybody has a past. You do not make them live by their past in the present. And my saying is, don't let the sins of your past tarnish the dreams of your future.
Yes, 100%. That's a big thing, because the thing is that, you know, I can safely, you know, I've been shaped. If you're talking about relationships, you know, with the opposite sex, I've been in a way that I've guarded myself when it comes to certain things that I do. There's some things that I've done in the past that it's like, you know what, you know, if you're here, you're here. If you're not, you're not. You know, it's like, you know, this is how I operate. You know what I'm saying? Either accept it or you don't. But then as you move forward and you find somebody that, you know, you say, you know what, I really want to be with this person. I don't want to be where I was in the past. You know, you remember. Okay, it's like this. What I do is I multiply. Okay. So for every 1 year that someone has gone through something, had some type of major trauma or whatever goes on, I say you either multiply or add 3 to 4 years. Okay, because you got to understand something. If I was hurt by somebody, okay, number one, it didn't happen overnight.
Mm-mm.
It was built up. You know what I'm saying? So if I was in a relationship with somebody for a year, or let's say I was in a relationship with somebody for 4 years, okay? Say 4 years. I can't get okay there. So I was in a relationship with somebody for 4 years. Okay, in that 4 years, I probably had been hurt by that person. Maybe 2 to 3 years that we were together.
Right.
That's a real possibility. Okay, and that could be anybody. And I'm not saying I'm just using me as an example. I could have been hurt by that person for two. Okay, therefore, two built up of hurt and anger, and disappointment. So now I go into another relationship, especially if I go right into another relationship. That means there's 2 to 3 years that I have not worked through what just happened. Meaning the whole thing people talk about, and I know you said don't bring your baggage into another relationship. First of all, impossible. That's impossible.
Right.
Stop. And I've gotten to the point where I say stop doing that. Now I agree with you 100%. Don't punish someone because of past or their past. Okay, you don't punish them. Now you may bring that baggage in, you may bring those thoughts, those feelings in. You cannot avoid that. I'm sorry, I don't care I don't care who you are, what the situation, I don't care who the person is you're with, you're not going to avoid that. Why? Because like we said earlier in the show, different situations, same feelings. So there could be something that reminds you, that triggers you on that particular day, with that particular person, that reminds you of something that happened in a relationship 4 or 5 years ago. It has nothing to really do with them. It's just what they said or what they did at that point that triggered something here. It triggered something here. And it was like, oh, now I'm mad at this person. Then you sometimes, oh man, wait a minute. I'm mad at them. I'm not mad at them. I'm mad at what the other person did. And you have to be careful about that. But it happens. As long as you know, and you accept that happens, you're fine. You can still work through that. You can tell that person, hey, babe, I'm sorry, or hey, I'm sorry that I went off on this, or I got mad about this. This is why I got mad. It had nothing to do with you. It's just something triggered, in my mental, in my emotional heartstrings. It triggered this and that. You can move on from that. But you got to be careful, you know what I'm saying? Because it happens. And like I said, like we said, please, anybody that's listening to this, I'm definitely I'm not bashing women. I'm not bashing men. I'm saying all these things are connected to all of us. All of us have been through this at some point in time in our life. Maybe some of us are going through it right now in our lives. All of it is connected. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying, what Ace is saying, take those things, what we're saying, if it does apply to you, like who was that? Was that Cindy that said that? That said
Which
that they
comment?
needed to take a step back.
No, that was
They need to step
Glenna.
back and reevaluate.
That was Glenna.
Glenna, like Glenna said. Glenna. All things we're saying, sometimes you might need to think to yourself, maybe I need to step back, reevaluate what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, and make sure it's not something that I'm projecting onto someone else. Just that's what we do sometimes. We project onto other people what's going on with us. And we got to be careful about that. I know I have to. I try my best not to, because I've been through a lot of situations, man. I've been through a lot. When I was in the military, 10 years, right? Dang, 10 years, 3 marriages, 10 years. In the military. Three. I tell you right now, I tell anybody going into the military, especially if you're a guy, number one, you better know your woman you with. You better know. If you have any type of doubt, do not go into that military situation with that woman. Don't, because she will destroy you. She will destroy you. And I will say same thing on the other side. If you're a woman going into the military, you better know your man, because he will destroy you. Why? Because when you get deployed, you can't do the job. There was at least 5 situations over the times I've been deployed I almost died because I was not concentrating on my job because I was worried about stupid stuff that was going on. I almost died 5 different times. 5 freaking different times because the woman I was with couldn't trust what she was doing. And because either we had a conversation or because someone else back home who had a spouse that knew her told me, hey, I saw your spouse doing that. I'm like, what? And now I'm sitting here thinking about that. I almost died. And I wouldn't even cared if I died. But the problem what I really cared about was that I could have put the other guys and women that I'm serving with, I put them in danger, which means they may not have made it back home to their families. And it bothered me. It still bothers me. I'm gonna be honest, it still bothers me today. That's why when I get young men and women who come to me and talk about, hey, you serve, what do you do? I tell them straight up, number one, don't join if you got a spouse or other girl and you friend whatever, you can't trust them. If you can't trust them here, you are not gonna be able to trust them. You go thousands of miles away. If that's the case, let it go. Join, just let them go and go ahead and join. If you can't work that stuff out, you got problems. You know what I'm saying? But that's that. Like I said, that's me on that front. But yeah, this stuff. Timothy said 100%. That's right. Hold on, what's she talking about? Okay, so hey, I know you do a lot of videos. Okay, I know you do a lot of videos. So now, if I could have figured it out, I was trying to figure. That's one of the things I was trying to figure out was trying to pull up your account to share some of the videos that you've done, but it wouldn't let me do it. So maybe when we do the show again, if we get back on here and do this again, heck, who knows? You might be my permanent guest host. When we decide to do this again, you know what I'm saying, maybe we'll be able to pull some of those videos off to share with the others that maybe not be on TikTok. Maybe they're still holding on to what you said before.
I'll never fucking download TikTok.
So what I want to do is I want to feature you just solely right now. I want you to go through some of the ideas behind some of the videos that you've done. Okay, so this is going to be all you. Yeah. What? Yeah. For those who don't know, Ace is
Yeah.
a conversation. Yeah. Anyways, so I want you to go through your top 10 videos that you've done. And I want this is going to be featured on you. I'm going to turn my camera and my mic off so that way everybody can just focus on you.
My top 10 videos.
So your top 10 videos, what the videos were, what was thought behind them, and how you came up with the creative idea for them. So I'm turning my mic and my camera and everything off. All right.
Okay. I don't know if I can go top 10. Oh hell, so you put me full screen. Awesome. I might be able to go top 5. I'm going to say right offhand, I don't care how many likes it got, how many views it got, how many comments it got, whatever. My top video would have to be the one with me and Brittany, where we did the video for domestic violence. That by far would have to be my number 1 video. My number 2 video, I'm gonna be a little selfish on this one. My number 2 video would have to be the one that I did where I morphed my girlfriend from Texas to Kansas. Number 3 is going to have to be the one where it would have to be my oh wait the thought process behind it. Okay, for the domestic violence awareness video, my thought process behind that, I really didn't have a thought process until I seen what Brittany had done. Whenever I seen what Brittany had done, her vision led to my vision, because my thought process in the beginning was to get an actual cop to do the part in the video. Whenever I seen her video and what her vision was is what led me to my vision. My vision was a biker will stand behind any woman who is being domestically abused. And by her putting her child in that video with her, that just raised the bar tenfold. So my vision behind that was, I'm a biker. Bikers stick together. I wouldn't be going alone. I had the address. We were coming for him, and he wasn't going to be able to do it to anybody else. That was my vision behind that video. My vision behind the morph from Texas to Kansas was basically just that. It was our first meeting, and I was ready to announce it to everybody that even though it was still fresh from the breakup or the split up with my ex, I had found somebody, and I'm ready to devote my everything to her. She sat there and she has calmed my demons so much since we've been together that I wanted to pay her homage by doing that video. And it was basically, this is what I told her to do. I said, okay, you're going to start the song. Whenever it gets to this point, I want you to get up and walk off the camera. And then I would continue the song on my side, and then she would walk back into camera into my arms. That was my vision behind that video. My number 3 video would have to be my I See You video. That video alone has gotten more people to open up to me than any video that I've made. And I mean, it was real simple. I just basically what I did with that video, my vision behind that was, what do I want to hear somebody say to me? And that's what I projected through that video. My number 4, that would have to be the Come Sit With Me. And that was basically just me giving an invitation to all of the women out there who are underappreciated, who feel like they don't have a place, that are overlooked for whatever reason, asking them to come sit with me and me sing a song to them, building them up. And that was basically the vision behind that one. And my number 5 would be a toss-up between, well, no, it's not really a toss-up, because everybody knows that I'm not worried about being TikTok famous. That's the last thing that I care about whenever I log into TikTok every day. It's like, oh, hey, am I famous today? Nope, I'm still me. Awesome. But I mean, my TikTok famous video, that's just me being me. Yes, I do want to be recognized. I want to be recognized as the person who came into your life, opened your eyes, and made a difference in your mind, and put you on a track that was different than the one that you were on when I wasn't there. But that wouldn't be my number 5. My number 5 would have to be my version of asking if you're okay. And if you haven't seen that one, it's the one where I walk by the door, stop, come back, and say, hey, are you okay? Because at the end, again, my vision behind this one was, what would I want to hear? At the end of that video, everybody wants to know that when somebody wraps their arms around them and gives them a hug, that they feel safe where they're at. And that's where I wanted that one to end, is me telling you that you're safe. So my top five would have to be in that order.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. And like I said, I've watched the videos, man. I've seen how the effective, I've seen your live when you go on TikTok. I've heard it, and that's I think that's the thing that I'm really appreciative of, and what I'm trying to make sure I use my platform as well as you're using yours, to make sure that message gets out, that it's okay. We all go through
Love
this
you.
stuff. Like, we all go through this stuff.
Love you, Jay.
You know what I'm saying? We all go through this stuff. And it's okay to say, you know what? Every once in a while I just need, talk to somebody. Sometimes, like you said, like we said earlier in the show, sometimes I just need you to listen.
Yeah,
I don't need you
exactly.
to say or do anything. Just listen. Just hear me out. You know what I'm saying? Afterwards, and I've done this with people myself. Man, I've done this with people myself. They'll come to me, they'll say something, tell me that's what I'm going through. I let them talk, and then I still never said a word. Walk up to them, give them a hug, and walk off. Because that's all they needed from me. That's all they needed from me. Was
Sometimes that's all they
just
need is
somebody
just
to
a
hear.
sounding board.
Yeah. Yes.
Just somebody there to listen. They don't need criticism. They don't need advice. They don't need judgment.
No.
They have so much on them that that's all they need, is just somebody to take some of it off of them.
Yes.
And if that's all it is just an ear
Yeah.
to lend them to get that stress off of them,
Mm-hmm.
then by all means, what
Yeah.
is 30 minutes of your day going to hurt? Just listen.
Yeah. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing that gets me is that sometimes I think we fail to realize, if we don't take that time to be like that to somebody, why would somebody take that time to be like that with us?
Exactly.
It goes back to what we said. It's like a revolving door. I may be fine today. I may be fine this whole week. I may be fine this whole month. But at some point in time, I'm not going to be fine. Just like with you, just like with anybody else. At some point in time, you may not be fine. Who's going to be that person that's going to turn to you? And I believe in karma. I do believe in karma. 100% believe in karma. You know what I'm saying? If you're that type of person that, is always just using people, for yourself, and then you never take time to be there for somebody, it's gonna come back. That one
And
time you really
whenever
need
you need
somebody,
somebody,
yeah.
they're not going to be there.
And then it's like, what then? So I mean, I 100% believe in that, and I really wish that there were more like forums and platforms that people actually use their intended purpose for. Like, I mean, TikTok is cool. I like it because there's a lot of funny videos and stuff on there. But I wonder, like, I haven't been so in depth in it that I've actually looked and sought out like things like you do on TikTok.
Right.
So I'm not gonna sit there and say that they're not people doing that kind of stuff. But compared to how many people probably could do it, it's still a very small number.
It is.
It's a very small number, even with what I'm doing. With the StreamYard, yeah, I can the live stream to multi platforms all at once. So right now, this is going on Facebook. It's going on the podcast Facebook show. It's going on on the YouTube one, which is most where all our viewers are at, and it's also going onto the Twitter one. 3 different platforms at once, getting the exact same feed. That's 3 different platforms. And it's like I look at that and I think, how many other social media platforms are out there that people are actually doing something like this for? That it's something that it's not trying to tear somebody down, it's trying to build people up. Because I honestly believe that's the main issue with society, is that we spend so much time nitpicking. We spend so much time with, and don't get me wrong, I love my people, I love the Black race, but sometimes I get tired. I get tired of hearing about the whole reparations thing. I get tired of hearing about the whole racism thing. Why? It's always been there. We've gotten away from talking about it because it makes people feel uncomfortable. But it's always been there. It's not like this is something new. The Floyd, things, the shooting, the police officer shooting and beating people is not new.
Mm-hmm.
It's always been there. What's new is camera phones.
Right.
What's new is the body cams that the police officer happen to wear. What's new is all these security cameras that are around towns and cities all over the place that are capturing this stuff. That's new. Nothing else is new. Okay? So it's like people are, yes. I don't know why you can't believe it. You can't believe it because it's not something that affects you on a personal level. It affects you in personal. And that's what bothers me, is that it takes either something happening to somebody on a personal level, or the fact that they happen to turn on the TV at the right time, or they're listening to something on the radio at the right time, and it brings something up, and now all of a sudden, like, oh my God, I can't believe this is really actually going on. It's like I love everybody, it's, and I'm gonna tell you, for people that know me, you have to really, really screw up for me to just write you off, as a person, because I love everybody. Like I said earlier, I grew up in the church, so you already know, in most cases what our views are. I'm talking about Pentecostal church, as far as loving everyone, treating everybody with love and respect, because everyone's equal in God's eyes, and that's how I feel. That's how I always will feel. Everybody is equal in God's eyes, but it's humanity's eyes that bothers me.
Exactly.
When it comes to this, and I'm not talking about race. I'm talking about, like, race is what it is. I don't even care about that stuff. I really don't. It doesn't really bother me one way or the other. Somebody coming up to me saying the N-word, unless it's one of those days that I'm like, you know what? I think I have time today to just really destroy somebody. If it's unless it's one of those days, somebody can run up to me like, oh, you N-word, blah 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 blah. Okay, whatever. Yeah, maybe I was being the N-word today. I don't know. Heck, I don't know. I don't really pay attention to myself enough to know. But it's one of those things where that's not going to really bother me. Because why? Because, like anything else, I'm the one that gives that power. You know what I'm saying? I'm the one to give those words power.
Exactly.
Because people that use that in a way, is because that's how they were brought up. That's how they were raised. It was acceptable to use it that way in their environments. Just like anything else, any type of racial slur, any type of negative slur when it comes to the individuals of the homosexual lifestyle, gays, lesbians, transgenders. Please forgive me, I don't know all the terms and everything, because it's not something I deal with on a regular basis. So I definitely do not want to offend anybody if they're watching this and you fall into that category. It's just one of those things. What's up?
LGBTQ, lesbian, gay, bi, LGBT, trans, and queer.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm not going to remember that. So
I know.
I appreciate you telling me that.
You're completely welcome.
Yeah, so it's not, and it's one of those things. It's not something like it's like, oh, like, oh, I'm not gonna remember because I don't care about it. Trust me, I've got gay friends. You know what I'm saying, and I love them to death. I got a buddy of mine who I've known. God, man, how long have I known him? We've known each other since I want to say the fifth grade, and he fits in that category. And I love that dude to death. I would dare somebody to come up to him and try to do some type of like homophobic slurs or something like that, or even, and you better
Gay
not even try
bashing.
to, yeah, you better not even try to physically harm that dude, because I will end you and your whole family trees existing. You know what I'm saying? I will. That's my dude. I love that man to death. You know what I'm saying? And I support him in everything he does. But like I said, it's not something I'm in on the circle daily. So like I'm not educated on that aspect. So like I said, I hope, I don't offend anybody. But of course, with today's society, it's so easy to offend people. It's unbelievable. But anyways, but yeah, like it's just like I said, it's stuff like that. It's just like, man, like, why can't we just, I'm about to step back into the 80s right there and hit my man, or was it eight, no, was it the 80s or 90s, Rodney King? I think it was 90s, early 90s. um um can we all just get along? I mean, like, seriously.
Right?
I mean, we're all on this planet. I mean, I don't care what they talking about doing stuff in space. Trust me, ain't nobody going nowhere. You ain't going nowhere until you die. All right, so we're here. So if we're here, either, if you can't get along with somebody, shut your mouth, keep it moving, go on about your business. You know, other than that, just do, man. It's not that serious. Love everyone, be there for everyone, because we all are going to need someone at some point in time. Um, Brian, I'm gonna ask you a question.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you a question. Okay. Ask you a question here. Okay. Taking everything we've talked about, discussed today. All right. What would you say? Okay. What would you, if you had three things that you would want to tell this next generation? Okay. If you had three things to tell them that you feel would make them the most successful as a human being, what would they be?
No filter.
No filter. Do what you do.
Okay. Um, I'm sure the majority of the people that are watching this are probably Generation X people. So I'm going to use some Generation X philosophy. No, the number one thing that I would tell this generation is don't be a fucking snowflake. Don't let everything that happens in your life have an effect on your life. Because, God damn it, just because you didn't win the game and you didn't get the participation medal, you were there. It's a memory. It's something that you will remember the rest of your life. Don't patronize yourself because you didn't win. Don't sit there and think that you're entitled to something if you did not work to get that
Mm,
entitlement. If just because you were raised in money does not make you rich.
mm, mm.
What makes you rich is who you surround yourself with.
Yes.
If you are a selfish, self-centered, self-righteous person and only think about yourself, when it's time for you to go, that's all that's going to be there for you. When It comes time for you to make a choice, to do good or to do bad or do ugly. I'm not going to say bad, I'm going to say ugly.
Yeah.
Look within yourself. If your heart is ugly, then it's not a choice for you. It's just a matter of how you're going to pull it off.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have to question which way to go, think about how you would feel if it was pushed back on you.
Yeah.
If you're not going to be part of the solution, then that just makes you part of the problem. And if you're part of the problem, you will be left behind.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Timothy. Thank you, brother. But in all seriousness, the number one thing that I would say to this generation, grow the fuck up. You're acting like you're still 7 years old on your mom's tit. You can't sit there and cry to somebody just because something happens to you. You're 20, 30, 40 years old. It doesn't matter how old you are. If something is upsetting to you, fix it. Don't go crying to mama. Don't go crying to your best friends. Oh, he hurt my feelings. Bitch, you only had one to begin with.
I don't have any.
But you just have nerves now. And
I got two of them.
right. But for real, if there's something bothering you, don't expect somebody else to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't find the strength within yourself to fix the simple things that are affecting your life, like you didn't win the game, you were supposed to go to Chipotle for dinner, but they decided to take you to the taqueria instead, or Taco Bell instead. I mean,
Yeah.
these things that you guys are throwing fits over these days are ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to throw this out there. Who did I have to turn to whenever I witnessed a murder-suicide in front of a fucking hospital? No one. I mean, seriously. When something like that happens in your life, who are you going to turn to? If you've pushed everybody away because of your insignificant bullshit throughout your entire life about only worrying about yourself, when something serious happens to you, who are you going to have? I've got a flag. I'm not sure where that flag is because everything's still in boxes, but I have a flag, and that flag has the Confederate flag on it. It is a Confederate flag, and what it says is it says heritage, not hate.
Yeah.
It's part of history. Tell me somebody who was alive today that was affected by what happened then. It's heritage.
Mm-hmm.
And what if we talk about heritage? It's in the past. If you're not able to leave what's happened to you, what's said to you, what's done to you in the past,
Mm-hmm.
exactly, sister. If you're not willing to leave everything in the past, then that's where you're always going to be. You will always live
Yes.
in the past and expect for things to transpire the way that they always have until you're ready to flip that page and move forward. You're you're never going to change. Everything's always going to be the same. I know, Mom. I know. So that would be my biggest thing to tell this generation is grow up.
Yeah.
Quit thinking that you're entitled. You're not entitled. Our generation paved the path for you.
Yeah.
And look at the recognition that we didn't get. We got fucking spit on by going to war and making sure that this nation was safe. They spit on our generation.
Yeah.
And do you hear us bitching and moaning about that? No. We've moved past that. Do we still have demons because of stuff
Yeah.
like that? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But we don't express it on a daily basis. I mean, I totally get that there are people out there that have issues that they can't handle on their own.
Right.
And that's where the family comes into play.
Yes.
I never expected in a million years for what I was passionate about to take off the way that it has. To see the people that I consider my family on TikTok step up and embrace my vision the way that they have, that makes me humble.
Yeah.
To have them step in when I can't, to be able to talk with somebody because they've seen me have my breakdowns on live, that I do take on a lot. And I don't do it because I think I'm Superman and I think I can handle it. I do it because when it happens, it's almost like everybody has suppressed everything until this point in time. And when I'm there, they feel comfortable enough to let it out.
Yep.
And when they let it out, it just all piles up. And it just takes one thing to send a trigger, and that's when I lose it. And it's happened to me twice.
Yeah.
And that's when the rest of the family rallies around, lifts me back up, and steps in and disperses what's going on amongst each other to help out. And that's what I always wanted, was just to have a collective of people to be there for people like us who are dealing with shit that they don't know how to deal with, to work through it by talking to someone who knows what you've been through or can relate to what you've been through.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the things that I'm big on is I'm not going to sit there and tell you that I understand what you're going through, because I don't understand what you're going through. I was not there. But I can relate.
That's huge.
And for me to tell someone that I can relate, that means that I've been through some shit too. It may not be the same, but it's just as deep. And even though it's different, we still have the scars from it.
Yes. That is huge.
Just relating with somebody in that manner is enough to get them to feel comfortable enough to open up. And just knowing that you were there for somebody when they needed you. And like I said at the top of the program, knowing that your actions and your give a shit was enough to save somebody's life. That's all I could ever ask for.
Yeah. That's good. That is good. And to hit on a couple things you said, we talked about, people being rich, right? And saying that, just because your family's rich, or your parents are rich, this is that. It brings back to something that Shaquille O'Neal said, probably a couple months ago. Someone had asked him about his kids, this and that, and he said, "Well, I told my kids, I'm rich. You're not. You're living off of what I did.
Right.
Now, if you want to get where I'm at, you go find your thing, and you make yourself rich. But we ain't rich.
No.
Daddy's rich. You
Right.
just you get some benefits, some perks until you get out on your own. Now you better figure it out. You know what I'm saying? And that hit me hard. I was like, man, I said that's real talk right there. Because he's like, hey, daddy's rich. Daddy got money. You weren't part of that money when daddy was getting that money. you came along afterwards when daddy already had some money, but you didn't help daddy get this money. So let's not even talk about it like that. But also with the whole growing up, man, that's the thing that really bothers me when it comes to today's youth. And I'm gonna be honest with you, and I love my parents out there. A lot of this is also our fault as parents. We're not teaching our kids the way we should really be teaching them. We're not teaching them to truly be grown up. Okay, grown up is not, you just tell them, hey, this is what you're supposed to do, but show them how to be grown up. And a lot of the problem is that we allow them to do too much. That's one thing I can say. When we were growing up, they looked at us in phases. Okay, you're this age, you're a kid, you are a child. Act as a child, do
Mm.
childish things,
You're gonna
carry
get
on by
treated like
yourself.
that.
This
Yeah.
from this age to this age, you're a teenager. Now we need to get away from childish things. Now we need to start teaching you how you need to start acting going into adulthood. Once you get to adulthood, from this age to this age, look, training wheels are off. This it's game time. Get your button gear. Let's go. It's time to get going. And we've gotten away from those things, and that's one thing. I've heard so many, and I hate when I deal with black culture. Okay, there's a completely different environment from most other cultures especially when it comes to raising kids. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, I've heard so many of black parents saying this one fatal thing that always seems to doom them. I will not treat my children or raise my children the way my parents raised or treated me. Now, where I have a problem with that is this: if you were a jackass when you were growing up, and your parents treated you and raised you a certain way, and now you're doing okay for yourself, what makes you think that your children are not going to be the same way you were? What makes you think that you should abandon the the good morals and principles that your parents were trying to teach you and leave that child out there to do whatever they want to do? That bothers me to no end. What you're saying is, and now I'm gonna hit this in a second, but what you're saying is what your parents did and how you are now had no bearing. Now, when I say that is because I also get grandparents who treated their children a certain way now want to get on their children when their children are doing the exact same thing that you did as a parent. And it's like, wait a minute, are you saying what you did was wrong? So you're saying how I turned out is wrong? My thing is this: we talk about the youth, we talk about things that we would tell our youth. This is and that is number one. If you're talking about having children, know your child. First of all, know yourself. Okay, know 100% your child is probably pretty dang very close to who you are now. Let's just be honest. They're gonna be pretty close, and especially if your children, or anything close to you, you got to remember. Ooh, I was kind of a hellion. Let me pull the reins back. Ooh, horsey. Ooh, pull the reins back. Let's talk this in. Now, if you want to have a different approach, that's fine. But you gotta go with whatever works for you and your child. What the heck is she talking about? You gotta go whatever goes work with whatever works with you and your child. Okay. So you gotta go whatever works. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta know your child. You gotta know your child. Just like you gotta know the people you're dealing with. That's my biggest thing. You know, it's the one thing I try to teach anybody is like, first of all, know who you're dealing with. Know who you're talking to. Okay. You can't just keep thinking you're gonna do the same thing with one person that that you've done with another person. You can't do that. Um, if I had three things I would tell the youth today, be number one would be this. If you still have your grandparents, if your grandparents are still alive, talk to them more. Um, ask them about how things were when they were growing up. Ask them about, you know, how was the world when you were my age? Ask them what they feel the biggest differences are between when they were your age and to the age they are now. If your grandparents have some type of skill set, knowledge that's not being taught now, ask them to teach you. Learn something. You know what I'm saying? Take something from that. Because a lot of things that were taught back then will never be taught again. So therefore, that information, that knowledge is lost forever. So if you have a grandparent that's still alive, learn from them. Find out if they have a skill set that is not being taught, and then see if you can learn that skill set from them. That'd be number one. Number two, even though most of us as kids don't get along with our parents, and we're not supposed. I'll be honest with you, you're not supposed to get along with your parents. And when I say that, I mean at some point in time, as a parent, you cannot be your child's best friend. You can't,
Right.
because what happens with your best friends? You know what I'm saying? You're an adult. You have a best friend who's an adult. What happens? You clash. You don't get along. At some point in time, you stop talking. You stop communicating. This is what happens with parents and children. This is why there's such an issue with parents and children, because you try to be your best friend, try to be the best friend of your child, then therefore the communication breaks down, because why? You haven't established a boundary of, I'm the parent, you're the child. I'm not of that belief that I say this thing. I don't say this to my kids. I would never say this to my kids. I'm a parent. You do what I say because I said so. No, no. You're 100% wrong if you do that. Number one, you tell your child, I'm telling you no, and this is why. You explain to them why. Okay? You want your child to have that type of relationship with you where you have a conversation, then talk to them like that. Treat them like that. Don't treat them like a best friend. Make sure there always is a boundary. Now, when they reach a certain age, and you really realize, hey, I can actually talk to this person when I have to choke the crap out of them. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I can do that now. You know what I'm saying? We can have a conversation like, hey, look, son, daughter, what the heck were you thinking? Oh, well, mom, dad, this is what I was. Okay, that was your thought. Okay, now let's break this down as why this was a bad idea. Have that conversation. You know what I'm saying? Don't be trying to say, oh, well, this is my daughter, this is my son. Oh, I'm just gonna take them shopping. I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. This and that. And then when they start acting like a child, you don't address them as a child. You try to still address them as an adult, having a freaking attitude. Guess what? They become adults that are still acting like children, that are still having those same stupid attitudes, and then wonder why none of their relationships work.
Yep.
Why? Because as a man, I'm acting like a child, because even though my mother was trying to treat me like her best friend, she never got me out of the child stage. So I'm always going to be a child. So therefore, you got these men running around here still acting like children who never will be men, who will always be those idiots that are hurting the women that now become damaged women. Flip side, same thing with the women. You're out there always looking for, doing all this stuff. Now you're hurting men because you're looking for somebody to treat you like your mother or your dad did, you know what I'm saying, as a best friend, or as a somebody that would just allow you to do whatever whatever you want to do with no type of like, hey, no, we're not doing that like that. No, it's not. No, babe. We need to talk about this. Oh no. Well, I've always been. No, I don't care what you've always been able to do. We need to have a conversation. You know what I'm saying? The thing is, like I said, it's like my thing is I'm like I would tell anybody, especially the youth, man. First of all, be a freaking kid. Don't try to grow up so fast.
Right.
I guarantee you, I'm 44 years old now. Okay. At 22, I was saying, man, I wish I could be a kid again. At 32, 34, man, I wish I could be a kid again. At 44, oh, baby, Jesus, Lord, take me. Come on, somebody take me back. Take me back, please, now. Build a time machine so I can go back and be a kid. Why? No stress. No worries. Mom and dad took care of everything. I didn't have to worry about nothing. There was nothing I had to do. All I had to do was wake up, put clothes on, brush my teeth, go eat, go to school, wherever I was doing that day, go do whatever I was doing that day, come home, watch a little TV, go to bed, wake up. Guess what? I didn't have to worry about light bill. I didn't have to worry about phone bill. I didn't have to worry about putting clothes. Can I afford putting clothes on my bed? I didn't have to worry about, hey, standing at the pump at the gas station. Man, I can only put $5 in because I still got to go to the grocery store and get some food for the house. I didn't have to worry about that stuff. Life was so simple, but we try to get these kids to grow up so fast. Let them be a freaking kid. Raise them as a kid. But then realize I'm not just raising a child. I'm just not raising a son and a daughter. I'm raising a husband. I'm raising a wife. I'm raising a father. I'm raising a mother. Realize that. Realize, hey, this little mini me, he or she about to be let loose on the world. What is the world going to do to them when I'm not there to protect them?
Right.
That's like I said, I can't fix parents of today. But the future, that's the one thing I deal with when I deal with the guys I coach. And I have a lot of the youth that come and they come to workouts and stuff. That's the one thing I talk to them about. I don't just talk to them about basketball. I talk about life in general. You know what I'm saying? I talk to them about life in general. Hey, what is what you're doing today and how is it going to affect your tomorrow? And not just your tomorrow, your 2 to 3 years, your 5 years, your 10 years from now. What are you doing today that's going to affect your forever? If you can't keep that in mind, you can't keep thinking about that. If you're only solely living in the right now, you have already failed. You can't just always live in the moment. You live in the moment when it's necessary, like when it's really necessary. Like you live in the moment, this and that, but you have to, at some point in time, slow your mind and things down to say, okay, if I do this in the moment, what does this moment look like years from now?
Right.
Because I know I've had this conversation. I think you and I have had this conversation before, and I know I've had this conversation with other people, especially when it comes to the children. Careful about what you post online, because that's forever. You may think you delete something. You may think you delete something. You may think you get rid of something. That's forever. Anybody can find it. Anybody can find it. Anybody can go there and get it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So you can't. Nothing's
you put it out there. It's out there forever.
Oh yeah. So it's
unless you go in and delete it, and nobody fucking stole it from you, it's there forever.
You can delete it, but on servers, you can delete it from your whatever you're doing, your workspace. But on the servers, it's still there. And if there's anybody that's just out there just doing stuff or whatever, they can get on there. And that's one thing I learned when I took my cybersecurity class, which I graduated from last December, was that nothing's lost. Nothing's deleted. They're just stored in different files. And if you're on there just looking for just information or this and that, if you're a good enough hacker, and you don't even have to really be a good enough hacker, you just got to know what you're looking for. If you know what you're looking for, you can pull it off. Which means any picture that, you know, that's like I'd be laughing at some of these women to be on there, and these girls, be on there taking pictures and putting on all kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden they want to, have a family and act like they have kids. Oh, I never did anything like that. And all of a sudden some stuff resurfaced. Where'd that come from? It came from you, dummy. You know what I'm saying? You the one to put it on there. Somebody else just found it. Don't act like you all surprised all of a sudden that, oh my God, my breast assistance and everything's out. No, you put them out there. You put them out there. You know what I'm saying? Keep them in there if you don't want them out there.
Barbie.
But oh my God, yeah. Barbie did that. Yeah, Barbie. Okay.
Yeah, Barbie.
You. Yeah. 100% nothing's leaked. Yes, 100% right, Joe. You are 100% right. What is that? Who said that? Congrats. Congrats on what? Did I miss something? Did I do something did something happen that I missed? What about congrats on what?
I think I missed something too, Marie. What?
Marie, you're gonna help us out here, Marie. Tell me what congrats on.
Congrats that he found his brain.
Oh, my graduation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Marie. I appreciate that. Yeah,
that's right.
Like, what happened? Did I do something? Like, oh man, do I have warrants? Anyways, but no, yeah, I mean, and I appreciate that. Thank you very much. But yeah, I mean, that's just the thing is, and like Jill said, 100%, nothing's deleted on in cyberspace. It's forever. It is forever. Yes, Jill, yes, Maria, I see that now. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. But yeah, but yeah, nothing's deleted. It's not, and it blew my mind when I was going through that course. Was like, I'm thinking to myself, like, oh, you know what? I definitely post some questionable stuff in my younger days. Maybe I need to go back myself, hack some files, and delete that stuff to make sure it's gone. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's crazy, but I don't know, man. It's Desiree, you better knock it off. Anyways, but yeah, there's so much stuff that I wish I could just, like I said, telling the youth or just going back in time and telling, either my younger self or people around my younger self, hey, you need to avoid this, you need to avoid that, this is that, there's just so much. But the only thing we can do, is do what we're doing now. You keep doing what you're doing, using your platform, because if we can, like I said, if you can change one life, that's a multitude of so many different lives.
Right.
Because if you change one life, you got to think about it. You change one life, that one life can turn around and change another life, and then they change another life. They change
domino effect.
Yes, it's that's the only thing we can really do. That's honestly the only thing we can really do is we, first of all, change ourselves. Change ourselves. You change yourself. You change your thinking. You change your views. You change how you see everything. You change that for the better. And then you work on the person closest to you. Work on the person closest to you. Like, hey, you know what? I know you've been thinking like this is and that, but have you ever thought about it like this? And then if you're blessed to have a platform like you have yourself, you know what I'm saying, and you're doing the exact same thing, and and I see you doing this, a lot of the similar things that I do was, number one, I focus on myself. My stories are not, it's the stories I tell are not about anybody else. I'm not giving somebody else's testimony. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about myself. Hey, this is where I was at. This is where my mentality was. This is what I was doing. Now that I realize that as a man, I can't think that I'm so indestructible that nothing ever gets to me, that I can't just ask for help. Once I've changed that, I'm like, now I need to tell everybody else, hey, dude. People are like, hey, you think I'm tough? Yeah, man, you tough. You probably one of the tough guys I know. Okay. Well, since you think I'm so tough, I'm telling you right now, you need help, ask. Because I do. I started asking for help. I knew I couldn't take care of this. I knew I couldn't do this. I knew it was so much of a strain. I'm asking for help. So you think I'm tough? You think I'm weak because now I'm asking for help? No. I mean, you're still tough. Okay. And if you saying I'm tough, I'm so tough But I'm telling you that me being so tough, I still got to ask for help. What does that tell you need to do? That's it. That's the only thing we can do, man.
Yep.
So, Brian, we have been on this. We've been on this thing for almost 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Now, I allotted 2 hours for the show. Now, I figured one way or the other, it was either going to go over or we were going to be under. And either way, I knew it was going to be a great show. I have enjoyed my time with you, like I always do, immensely. What you do.
Oh, and in case anybody who is watching this or whenever it goes to Spotify and it is an audio stream, this is my brother-in-law. So it's not like we're just friends. We're actually family.
Right. Who are you talking about?
What are we talking about? So now you're going to deny me. You're going to sit there and reject me now that I've actually accepted you as a brother. What?
I thought you said mother-in-law. I was like, your mother-in-law? I was like, what?
This motherfucker.
My bad, dude. My bad. My bad, dog.
That's what you get for trying to multitask.
Yeah, I was looking over here trying to do some other things, and my bad. That was my bad. But I was like, who's okay, my bad, dude. My bad. Okay, calm down. Goodness gracious. Thank you, Jill, for bringing that up. I appreciate that. Jill sent a comment talking about it is okay to ask for help. She's 100%
absolutely
right. 100%. 100%. Who's that shit? She show on podcast.
Show on podcast.
Yeah, sure, you're right.
Exactly, Cajun.
Right. Now it's on live show. Yeah,
just so everybody knows, everybody who is part of the family that is watching this, I am going to be doing a special live tonight. It's gonna be a short live. I feel like the family needs to be together. So I'm going to be on in about 30 minutes. We have video of him dancing. Right. I am so sorry for that, mother. I will be on live in about 30 minutes if everybody wants to come over and join us.
Yeah. So, all right, Brian, tell everybody up there just in case too, but go ahead and tell everybody once again where we can find you at on TikTok, and then any closing statements or remarks you would like to make.
I'll end this like I end most of my live broadcasts or most of my videos that are just me talking. I'm sending love, and as always, keep your chin up. Thank you for coming and watching our show, and hope to see you shortly. That's it.
All right. Well, this has been the first episode of the Birdman Show, the podcast and live stream version of it. It's been an unbelievable honor to be on here with you, Brian, aka Ace War. It's been great, and I look forward to carrying this friendship, brotherhood on into the future.
Absolutely.
Everybody, I want to thank you once again for joining us on this. It's been so be ready for the next episode. I will announce that when that's coming out soon. So everybody have a great, wonderful rest of your evening. God bless you.
Night. Do I need to leave, or are you going to keep